Hey guys, hope you're going amazing. Today, we are going to be diving into a really fun masterclass today. So as always, when we do the real training, I'll flip this around so you guys can read this. But I'm gonna go ahead and invite a couple of you guys to come in and watch this. And we are just gonna get going. Super excited for this, guys. So give me a second. While you guys are, hey, Will's on, my man. Melanie, Anastasia, hope you guys are doing amazing. So we are going to be talking about how to turn content into cash flow for your business. So a lot of people, they come to me every single week asking, what kind of content should I be producing? Like, what should I be writing about? Should I be doing Instagram TV? Should I be doing stories? Should I be doing textual posts? What should I be posting about? Hey, Will. Day, good to have you on here. So today what I wanted to go over is what we call the 4-quadrant theory. Basically, 4 types of content that you need in order to start getting a steady stream of clients coming into your business. So this is going to be a ton of fun. I'm really excited to dive into this and to just give you all the juicy information. So as you guys come in here, give me a wave down in the comments. And also go ahead and go hit that heart button down below. You guys know that I like it when you give me some love down below. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to invite a couple more people to come watch this training here. And we are just going to get rock and rolling. So hey, David, Sally, good to have you guys on here. So basically, this is something that's really interesting because a lot of business coaches, a lot of the time you guys will see that you're getting told that you need to be generating leads in your business, that you need to be nurturing leads in your business, you need to be making sales. Now, a lot of people don't actually talk about how content plays a role in this. And so what I wanted to do today is actually explain the purpose of why you create content, where you're going to be posting it, what's the purpose, and then also give you some real good specifics. So Ashley, thanks for the wave. Hope you're doing amazing. Sean, good to have you on here, my man. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's dive into this training. So I wanted to quickly just talk about kind of the purpose and how to think about content creation. Then we'll dive into the nitty gritty. Kara, good to have you on here. And so let's dive into this. So content is the lifeblood of your business. Let me talk about this because this is going to be one of the most important things you're going to hear probably today, this week in general, which is content is the bridge that brings together the audience that you have and the mission that your business wants to accomplish. So I'm going to say that one more time. Content is like the middle piece because you have your audience here, the people that follow you, and then you have like the results and the impact that you want to create in the world. Content is the way that you can communicate. It's the way that you can get in front of people. It's the way you get visibility. And an old mentor of mine used to say that visibility equates to profitability. And so content's number 1 focus is to get you visible to the right people. Number 2, it's going to help you connect with them. And number 3, it's going to get them to react. Okay, so write those down. So it's going to get you visible. It's going to get you to connect with people. And it's going to get them to react. Because at the end of the day, if people just see content, but they never react to it, they never actually respond to it, it's not helpful. And so you want to be thinking about a couple things. And this is why we come with the 4-quadrant theory, which is basically people to make a decision to buy from you. Hey, Christy, good to have you on here. So when someone wants to make a buying decision, they need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you, and I always add respect in there. So those are the 4 quadrants, and we're going to be diving into these. So as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this camera around and I'm going to be going through these 4 quadrants and give you some examples, and then at the end we can do a Q&A as well. So that being the case, I'm going to turn this camera around and we are going to be getting going here. So anyway, super exciting. So let's talk about these 4 quadrants, okay? So we have the know, like, trust, and respect quadrants, okay? Because you have to think about this. content is the main piece that when people get it, they're going to think, should I buy from this person or not? And the content is going to be the main thing that they see in order to kind of formulate and think about making that decision. So when you're thinking about these different pieces of content, basically you want people to get to know you better. You want them to like you. You want them to be able to trust you and what you do and what you offer, but you also want them to respect you as being an expert and authority in the field. So I'm going to go through these pieces of content, give you guys a couple different tips. So I'd write this down if I were you guys to actually start thinking about how you can create content on this. So getting people to know you. Some really the biggest example here is you telling your story. Okay, a lot of you have a story where you went from struggle to success, from overweight to ripped, from maybe a skinny to putting on more muscle, whatever it was, maybe to depressed to being confident. So a lot of you have a story, okay? And people need to know your story because most of the times your ideal client avatar is going to relate to different pain points, fears, challenges, struggles that your story has. And so you want to think about, okay, they need to know me better. So share your story. Another way to do this is to basically, some of your content can be documenting your life. A lot of the times people will utilize Instagram stories for this to just document what's going on in their day-to-day. This is going to get people just more knowledgeable about you, your daily routine. A lot of people that are really good on Instagram stories, you'll realize that they post very similar stories every single day. Like every single day they go for a walk, every single day they go work out, every single day they have like a healthy meal. They're always kind of posting similar stories because they want to get you to know them. So you're using Instagram stories to, like, let's say, document your life, okay? So these are just a couple examples of getting people to know you. Now, let's move to the like quadrant. To get people to like you, literally think about it like this. Whose content do you go to because it makes you smile, it makes you laugh out loud? It's you go to these people's content because you like the person, you like their personality, their quirkiness, their wittiness, whatever it is. So think about content, like I say, that makes people smile or laugh, okay? So like that kind of content. Also just entertaining content, okay? Entertaining. So every now and then I'll share something, like I'll do a short maybe quote on Facebook that's kind of funny, or on my Instagram stories I'll do something that's a little bit funny that people they smile when they're watching the stories, they react to it, and what happens is subconsciously they put those two together, my content with happiness or with laughter or with having joy in their life. So just think about what content actually does that. Now you want to have a blend of all of these, because if you just have, I'll give you an example. If you just have just no content, basically you're just talking about yourself all the time, which people are just like, oh, that's kind of egotistical. If you're always just doing like kind of content, you're just a jokester. You're just someone who maybe should be doing stand-up comedy. It's not someone that they'd actually buy from. But if you use this in a really good fashion, people will buy from you. So then the third one here is the trust factor, okay? So people will only buy from people that they trust, because if they don't trust you, they don't know if their money's gonna go in a good direction. They don't know if they're gonna get a good result. So trust includes having what we call social proof, okay? So it's social proof that the program that you have has worked for other people, that it has a system that works, and like if they want to lose 30 pounds, they know they're going to lose 30 pounds with you. So having social proof, but also trust comes through educational content, okay? Educational content that is actually giving people step-by-step, play-by-play, how to move their health in the right direction. So think about social proof as in testimonials, educational, and so forth. Now, this next fourth aspect, so we'll just number these quickly. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Respect is really important, because a lot of people that are our friends and family, they know us, they like us, they trust us, but they're not buying from us because they don't respect us as an authority. So this kind of content is actually like showing people why you need to be respected and not letting disrespectful things happen in your life. So I've seen different posts of coaches who say they'll create a post around how they've been getting a lot of phone calls lately where people are not respecting them, and where people are like just playing the game, where they say that they want to get healthy but they don't actually, they're just playing a game. So it's creating content, authoritative content is what we call it. authoritative content. Another kind of one here in respect is what I would call polarization. Polarization. Don't know if I spelled that right. Polarization content, basically showing how you do not agree with this, but you agree with this, and you become an authority in your space. Because if you're always just going with the flow with everyone, then you're not a thought leader. You're not someone that should be respected. But if you're like, maybe I don't like those diets, or I don't like that way of training, or I don't like that mindset, but this is what you should adopt, you're becoming respectable in your area of the field. And so what you want to do is create polarization content that says yes to this, no to that. And so this is going to get people to respect you, and it's actually going to also help niche you down. So when you're thinking about content creation, think about in a given week, am I creating content that gets people to know me better, like me more, trust me more, respect me more? And those are the 4 quadrants of content creation. So that went really quick. I didn't expect it to go that quick. So let's turn this around and let's just dive into questions. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's just dive straight into questions. Hey, John, just catching up on some of these comments. Sierra's on, Tekis is on. Good to have you guys on here. So let's dive into questions, because I know a lot of you guys you'll be able to run with this. It'll be just like, okay, that's super simple to understand. And this is all you have to do, okay? Content creation does not have to be insanely complicated. It's that middle piece that's helping people go from just getting to know you, getting into your system, warming up as a lead. It's something that drips through their feed day to day. Do you think a good game plan would be to set up a content calendar? Kara, of course. Having think about these 4 things. And just as a really beginner piece, just think about, okay, this week I'm going to create content, and I'm just going to create a piece on every single one of these. And then maybe the other 2 to 3 times a week can be another one of these, but making sure you're hitting all these pieces. So I write 2 of each post per week or something. So yeah, obviously that'd be 8. But what I would say is, just make sure that you're creating these 4 types, and then the other types of content that you create can be something else. As long as maybe it can be questions that you're asking your audience, different things like that. So having these set up in a calendar can be really helpful. So hopefully that answers your question. What other questions do we got, fam? Let me know what other questions you got, because I want to make sure that this is just hitting home, because it shouldn't be that complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. So basically, because this is it. I mean, when you've thought of making a buying decision, I'm sure all of you have. And if you bought it from a coach, or if you bought like an online service or whatever it is, I'm sure you've looked for a couple of these things, like you getting to know the person, like them, trust them, respect them. So it's really the basic, just subconscious behavior of how people buy from other people. And most people just don't think about it when they're creating content. They just think, some of them they have good thoughts, like I'll create content that is for my ideal client, or I'll create content that is like giving value to these people. But it's like, yeah, more than value, more than just talking to fear points or pain points, is actually moving the needle in everyone's know, like, trust, and respect factor. So that's why we have them in there. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So any other questions, guys? I know this was actually a short training today. Oh my gosh. This is not a very long training, but I wanted to give it to you guys. I'm heading out for the weekend, going to do a little bit of a rest and vacation for 2 days, just because we've been going crazy hard in here. But any other question, guys? I want to know what other questions you guys have. Oh, shoot. And so we are, I think it's complicated when anything you have to say nobody can relate to. Anything you have to say nobody can relate to. And it's, oh my goodness. I'm not sure I get what you're saying, Anastasia. I think it's complicated when anything you have to say nobody can relate to. Yeah, you have to have people being able to relate to stuff. And clarify your question if you have one, Anastasia, but I think what you're saying is you have to make sure your content is simple. You have to make sure you're not talking to the right people then. Yeah, clarify your question, because when you're creating content that is simple and just hits on these simple points and it's specific to your ideal clients, like all of this, by the way, should be niched down towards your ideal client. So when you're talking about your story, it's relating to your ideal client. You would document your life, it's maybe the life your ideal client wants. When you want to make them smile and laugh, think about what makes them smile and laugh. When you want to entertain them, what are they entertained by? Social proof, talking about stories and clients that you've worked with that these stories can relate to your ideal client. Educational, value that your ideal client can put into their life right away. Authoritative content that would impress them and be like, that's someone I could follow. Or polarization content where someone that your ideal client would say, I can follow them as a thought leader. I see how they're taking a stand for something and I appreciate that, I respect that. And so all of this needs to be niched. And so hopefully that's something that makes sense to you guys, because your whole business, I've been saying this for a while now, but your whole business should be niched. Not just your avatar, not just your offer, your entire business needs to be niched. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So man, today's a little bit of a quiet day. We don't have that many questions. That's fine. I wanted to keep this simple, straight to the point, nothing confusing for you guys. And so we'll hang on here for 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Again, any questions, you can put them down here below. And so next week, we've been getting a ton of people asking if I can do a training on creating a niched business and actually learning what niche you guys should be working in. And so next week is going to be, it's going to be amazing, because what we're going to do is usually I go over like a training, we do a Q&A. Next week, I'm going to do a very short mini training, and basically everyone that comes on who's not clear on their niche, I'm going to help get clarity on your niche. And so it's going to be a lot more interactive and a lot more I'm going to be engaging with every single one of you, making you have your niche complete, because that's a backbone that you need to have set up before you get your business rolling. And if you don't have it yet, like, we just need to get it done. So next week's going to be really important on that, because I had about 10 people say that they wanted that. And so yeah, Ashley, that is exciting. And so anyways, that's what's going to be happening next week, and I'm really looking forward to that one. So again, if this is the first masterclass that you guys are taking in, just so you know, we've been doing masterclasses for the last couple of weeks. So go to the top, go to the announcement section. Last week we did an impact class on how to utilize Facebook groups to get more clients. The week before that, we talked about how to have a nurturing process, how to actually take people from cold leads to hot leads, like the exact process. The week before that, we talked about the irresistible offer, how to create an offer and a program that sells like hotcakes. And so if you haven't watched those last master classes, that's going to be where I would get you to go to next, because there's tons of trainings. They're usually 30, 45 minutes. Nicole, you made it. Oh my gosh. We're just coming to the end here, but for people, there's a couple people that just jumped on. Basically, I'm just going to turn this around, give you guys a little bit of an idea. So for the people that are just coming in here, basically we talked about the 4 types of content that get people to buy from you, which is getting people to know you better, which is your story that's relatable to them. Document your life through something like an Instagram story. Getting people to like you, getting them to smile and laugh at your content. It's entertaining, they want to come back to it. The trust factor that you want to be building, so that includes social proof that relates to your ideal client, educational value that literally gives step-by-step, play-by-play value for ideal clients, and then respect content that shows that you're an authority, that shows that you are polarized, that you believe in something but you stand against something, standing in like a place where people can respect you as a thought leader. So quickly wanted to go over that for people that just barely came on. It isn't a question, but I think I don't know how to say things that would appeal to me. Like, I'm not. Hey, Anastasia. So this is a great question. So here's what I would say. When you're thinking about your ideal client, just write out some pain points, some fear points, some struggles that they're going through, some mistakes that they're making, and then just create content that literally talks about those things and helps alleviate them. That's all you have to do. And so just think about that. So think about all the negative things they're feeling in their life. Yeah, exactly. It's just learning who your ideal client is and how to talk to them. So just write down what they're fearing, what their pain points are, what their goals are, what their aspirations are, what their desires are, and then just use those exact points to create content, talk about those things. That's basically it. Ask questions about those things. So hopefully that's making sense to you guys. So Anyways, if you guys have any more questions, I would absolutely love to answer them. You can always send me a message. But as I said, next week's training is going to be on niched. It's going to be really, really personal for everyone that comes on. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you haven't watched the last masterclasses that we did over the last month, those are crazy in-depth 30, 45-minute trainings that are going to blow up your business. So you can go to the top, go to the announcement section, and you can just watch those trainings there. So if that's all we have time for today, guys. But I love you to bits. And if you have any more questions, just go ahead. You can post in this group. This group is a community. It's here for you guys if you have any questions. So I love you to bits, guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll be chatting in the next little bit.